It's the Newman's night out on BBC tonight, isn't it? Because
So I heard, yes.
your husband's just created the State of Israel in Exodus.
I have a feeling, yes. Yes, all right.
Don't we talk about Exodus?
Well, Mr. Cameron and I were talking beforehand. You see, I spent a long time in Israel while Paul was doing that film. I was just along for the ride. And I defy anyone to be in that country for any length of time without, as I said before, being more Israeli than any Israeli.
Yes, that's very true.
And it's no film, and certainly not Exodus, ever achieved the incredible spirit of the people, the chutzpah, if you will, you know.
Yeah.
It's, I don't think it quite made it.
You told me that, and you told me that your husband can hardly bear to speak about it, but...
He's never seen it, I don't think.
Has he not?
No, it was funny because it used to be right after the film came out, you know, and they had that marvelous music, you know, that they play, what is it, This Land Is Mine or something like that. And every time we used to go into someplace, into a nightclub or someplace like that, they'd start to play this music, and the orchestra would look expectantly at Paul, who would look very puzzled, you know. And finally I had to say, it's the music from Exodus. And he'd say, oh. Because I don't think he ever saw the film. I think he started to see it once and he left.
Yes.
Yeah.
He once said on a talk program that for two people with almost nothing in common, we have an uncommonly good marriage. Could you explain what the things are that you don't have in common?
We don't really have anything in common, except 3 children and a lot of movies.
That's a start.
No, that's the beginning. Yeah. Well, I know Paul is extremely athletic, and he skis, and he drives racing cars, and he's, he does all those things and does them very well. And I don't do anything like that. I am terribly anti-games. My 10-year-old daughter came home from school the other day and said, Mommy, they are going to make me play field hockey, and I won't play it. And I said, darling, you're absolutely right. And I called the school and I said, my daughter will not play field hockey under any circumstances. I felt very sure of that. But those things don't seem to matter because I'm perfectly willing to watch him drive a car fast as long as I don't have to go around with him in the car. And he will go to the ballet with me. He finally got to the point where he rather likes it. He won't go to class, but no, I tried to get him to go to class,
Really?
but he wouldn't go. Well, for 2 reasons. He said, listen, in the first place, if I go to a ballet class, everybody's going to look at me, and that's true. You know.
Yeah.
And he said, in the second place, I hate to reveal this, he has he has very thin legs. And he said, I look ridiculous in tights.
You just broke a million hearts up and down the country.
There you are.
Can we get into this, which interests me, this whole area of how influential media can be, particularly movies. I mean, you're now making movies that have a strong personal commitment for both you and your husband. Do you believe that they are able to influence opinion, to sway opinion, or that the movie essentially is regarded by the mass of its audience as pure entertainment?
No, I think, yes, it's probably, sadly, just entertainment.
Yes.
I wish that I thought otherwise.
Yes.
But I really think that for the most part, and I think probably because of television, everything has been so, it all begins to blur into one long sort of picture ever passing in front of your eyes, yes. So that it takes very specific people to look and see and gather a message more than just momentarily.
Yes.
So I don't know, I have a feeling we're beating our heads against the wall.
Yes.
You know?
Can I talk to you, Joanne, about this, about the attitude that you get towards yourself and your husband being in the film industry and taking political stands? I mean, I would imagine that some time ago, perhaps it's better now, that you weren't exactly the most popular people in America.
Not at all. Because, well, Paul's answer always has been, and there were times when people really chastised him and said, how dare you, you're only an actor. Or, in fact, you are an actor and you have an undue influence. How dare you wield it in terms of politics? And he said, well, I because I'm an actor, I didn't give up my citizenship, you know. Why shouldn't I? And he and I have been involved in politics. Well, I think my first campaign was Stevenson. I passed out pamphlets in front of a theater. But his involvement began, I think, in '61. With Kennedy and with a very close friend of ours, Gore Vidal, who was then running for Congress. And people laughed at first. They thought it was very funny that we should be involved. Then they resented it. And then when I became a part of an organization called Another Mother for Peace in 1965, when it was, as Mr. Cameron has pointed out, not very fashionable to be involved, and certainly the word dove was a dirty word in those days, I got a lot of nasty mail. A lot of nasty mail from mothers. That's what used to appall me. From mothers whose sons were in Vietnam saying, "How dare you do this? My son is over there dying for his country." And I wanted to write back and say, "But wouldn't you rather be alive?" I mean, what is this?
Wouldn't you agree now, Miss Woodward and Michael, that of late the theatrical profession has got an extremely honourable record for taking the right side in these major issues?
Yes.
Much better than most of the other trades.
I think sadly
Perhaps,
I think sadly that the battle it has to fight all the time is just that people don't can scarcely credit that you ought to or are indeed sincere.
Well, they never seem to credit the fact that we might know what we're talking
Precisely,
about
yes.
with certainly as much knowledge as some people who shall be nameless who are far higher positions than we are.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
Paul is an accomplished politician in that sense, and one of the best speech makers I know, and certainly would never, any more than he would ever go on for a performance, go on to speak about a subject about which he knew nothing.
Yes.
He's very well versed.
Yes. Did any of this resentment that you were talking about earlier from the public, did it spread sort of into the film industry itself? Did you have resentment from, say, the columnists and the studio bosses?
Yes, yeah, but Paul and I in the first place, we don't live in California, so it didn't matter too much. I hate California. I hate it. I really hate it. I mean, I don't hate Hollywood. I hate the climate of California. It's a lot of smog and it's got earthquakes. So I could do without that. So it really wasn't a problem in that sense.
Can I give you a quote that George Axelrod made on this program recently? He said, "If America's a lunatic asylum, Southern California is a violent ward." I was going to ask you if that was the reason, perhaps,
That's why George doesn't live there anymore,
Yeah, right. Well, he lives over here
Yes,
now.
I know.
But I mean, is that one of the reasons why you reject California as much as the smog and things? I mean,
No,
it is a
quite
lunatic
seriously.
establishment.
I think it's. There was a time when I said, "Oh, I hate California. It's terrible. There's no culture." Well, that's ridiculous. I'm president of a ballet company there, and we may end up being the first ballet company in Los Angeles. No, I seriously hate the smog, and I must say, I was in the middle of the earthquake, and that scared me to death. I mean, there was no Jeanette MacDonald singing San Francisco.
It's a different scene,
It's a whole different scene.
The case that they did have a very honourable and reasonable attempt only a couple of weeks ago to try and detach it from the mainland by a subterranean atom bomb up in the Aleutians, which the idea of which I understand was to cause an earthquake that was going to put the Pacific coast up by Las Vegas somewhere, abandon California to the Pacific, and apparently it failed.
Yes, terrible. Would you have
It may
approved of that,
happen
yeah?
yet.
Oh
though.
yes, very much so.
You've been, of course, you've spent some, we talked to Joanne about politics and things like this. What about you in the film colony? Because you've had one or two brushes with film stars, haven't you, in your
No,
time?
not really, no. The only brushes I've really had was in Santa Monica once when a policeman lifted me up because I was taking a walk.
You can't do that.
And
No.
he asked me why I was taking a walk. And I said, because I was taking a walk and because I hadn't got a car. And so if I didn't talk like a bloody limey, I think I would have been in Alcatraz.
Arrested for vagrancy, I'm
He
sure,
let me
yes.
off after that. So then we went back to this house that this kind gentleman had put me up in on Santa Monica Beach, which happened to be next door to where Mae West lived. And he said, if you come out at 6 o'clock at night when the sun goes down, you can see this old lady. She appears on the balcony for a brief minute or two to inhale the air. And two enormous sort of three-quarter rugby men supporting this fat old duck. And we took her in again. And I really thought, had she just said, come up and see me sometime, what a disillusionment.
Nobody's perfect, Joe. Talking about California, as we both have been having for the past 5 minutes, we've now got, of course, Mr. Reagan, who's a power in the land there. Does Paul have any similar ambition to be a politician?
Paul has a theory. I have to acquaint you with the fact, because I was listening backstage to Mr. Cameron and talking about leaders and prospective leaders of various countries, yours and mine. And as you pointed out, you know, we have Mr. Nixon and someone, you know, else. But you'll be happy to know that we have, and I say we advisedly, we have a third party, which is composed. I happen to be on the board out of love and affection and desire to aid, not because I'm a politician, but truly a third party, which is at the moment headed by Dr. Benjamin Spock and Gore Vidal,
Thought
which
you
I
were
think
gonna
is
say
a
George
marvelous,
Wallace.
huh? No. But it is quite a serious attempt. It started out as an attempt to back those candidates who might be supposed to espouse causes that we believed in. I think at this point, because everything does look so dismal, Gore told me the other night that they are having a convention, that there is a possibility that they will attempt to have a candidate of their own. In fact, we've been trying to talk to George Nader, who I think is a very honorable man.
This is about the first most of us have heard of that, isn't
Yes,
it?
Yes,
it is.
it's
Spark entering
just
on the
about,
arena. I'd never known it.
but he's a man of great honor, and I think George Nader is a man of great honor. I thought we could persuade him. I don't think there's any hope, obviously.
But what
It's a
about
fool's cause. But,
to revert back to the question about
yeah,
Paul
well,
in politics?
Paul has a theory that he has been often asked, you know, he has been asked to run for the Senate from 3 different states, which I think is kind of nice. But he's never wanted to do it, as he said from the first place, because he can never remember anybody's name, and that would be terrible, you know, if you were a politician. But he said quite seriously what he would like to do would be to run, simply to be in primaries, to make his statement. He said he wouldn't seriously want to run for office, but he would like a platform, a serious platform, not an actor politicking for somebody else, but a serious platform in which to say, this is what I believe, now tell me what you think about what I believe. You
I
know?
think I can deeply comprehend that. Because, you know, many years ago, I was asked to stand for Parliament for a totally non-existent party for the campaign for nuclear disarmament. And so I said I would love to do it, provided I could have an absolute guarantee that I couldn't possibly get in. And because the campaigning would have been fun, but then at once, you see, you're submerged in
But you don't want
a
to
sea
have
of
to do the other,
political
yeah.
mediocrity, and there's nothing more you can do.
Well, I think